Welcome. This week we're going to learn Parshas Mishpatim. So, there's one mitzvah here. It says, Kisira chamor soinacha roivitz tachas masoi. You see the donkey of your enemy sprawled under its burden. You won't help him. Oziv tazav imai. You should help him. So, Oziv, we know it means to abandon. Keli lama zaftoni. So, and here it says Oziv tazav means you should help him. So Rashi says like this: Oziv tazav imai haziva zu lashon ezra. This haziva means to help. Doesn't mean to abandon. And he brings a couple of psukim, a pasuk in Nehemiah, v'yazvu es Yerushalayim ad Chayma, they fortified Yerushalayim. So the word aziva is used, even though usually we think it means to abandon. In this case, it means to help. Now, in Parshas Truma, Rashi speaks a little bit more at length about this. It says, L'dashnai means to take away the deshen, to take away the action. So Rashi says, L'haser dashnai, says to take it away. Ki yesh mila is b'lashon ivris, mila achas, mischalefes bepisrain l'shamesh binyan nestira. There are certain words in Lashon Kodesh that mean to do something or to undo it, both ways. Like it says by Vayiskalu ba'avonim means to stone means to throw stones, and it says Hasira Avanel that to take away stones, Liskoil Asasada means to remove stones. So the word skila can mean to throw stones, it can mean to remove stones. So we have to, what the explanation for this is, I don't know. But over here, the word aziva, even though it means abandon, it means also the reverse, which means to help. That's how Rashi learns. Onkelos says something else, famous Onkelos. Mishbak tishbaik mad beliba chalayi usefarek imay. You should abandon the grudge that this is your enemy. You have a grudge against them, so you should abandon the grudge that you have against him, and then you should help him. Why? Either because your help will be better if you do it without a grudge, or maybe your mitzvah will be better if you do it without a grudge. But you should be meichel him. So that's how he's saying it. You should be meichel him. That's how Onkelos learns. So Rashi learns the word ozav means you should help. Because the word itself ozav means you should help, and Onkelos says it means you should be meichel. Now, there's a pasuk in Re'eh. It's talking about mesis, a person who gets other people to do avodah zarah is a mesis. And even though always you have to deal with people in a certain way, you have to give them hasra, a mesis, no mercy. Lo yisoy v'loy, lo yisish my love, lo yisachen seincha love, lo yisachma, lo yisachasa love, all these things that you shouldn't do. What does lo yisish my love mean? So Rashi says, lo yisish my love, b'schanenoi al nafshay limchaloi, he's begging you to be meichel him. L'fisha nemer, it says, azoiv tazav imoi, lozeh loy tazav. So the chacham says, Rashi doesn't learn azoiv tazav means mechila. Rashi learns azoiv tazav means help. Onkelos says it means mechila. So Chacham wants to say that Rashi over here is going with Onkelos pshat, that azoiv tazav means mechila. It's a little difficult to say that Rashi is not going with his own pshat. Rashi learns Ozev Tazov means help. So why does he say Uvei Mechila? So I want to say pshat in Rashi like this, that if somebody asks you for Mechila, why do you have to be Meichel? So the Rambam says that you have to be Meichel because you shouldn't be an Achzar. Don't be an Achzar, you shouldn't be Meichel. And that's why you have to be Meichel. I think Rashi has a different pshat. Rashi says that if somebody's begging you to be Meichel, that means that he is staggering under a burden of guilt. And there's a mitzvah of Ozev Tazav Imai. He's supposed to help a person with the load that he's staggering under, and yet, so therefore by being Meichel him, you could relieve him of the load under which he's staggering. So Rashi says, but Torah says Ozev Tazav Lai. He's begging you, he's begging you to be Meichel him. He has the shver pekel that he's carrying. What he did, he can't deal with it, so he wants you to help him. And the Torah says, he's supposed to help a person who is staggering under a burden. Him you shouldn't help. So, okay. Okay, I want to say a small thing before I go to the next thing. Kind of a riddle, again. It says, so it says 3 times you shouldn't cook a gedi, a young goat, and the milk of his mother. 3 times. So the Gemara dashens that is Isra Achila, Isra Anah, and Isra Bishul. That's the 3 things. The Chiddush over here by Basar B'Cholov, that there's an Isra to cook it together, even if you don't eat it. So we have 3 Yisurim. It says 3 times here, and a Kisisa, and a Re'eh, and one is telling you Achila, one is telling you Anah, one is telling you Bishul. What if it said only once? What would the pshat be in the pasuk? What would be the pshat if it said only once? What would you say? So I asked this question to a number of people, and most people said it means Bishul. It means Bishul. It's Vashkadi B'Chalei V'imai. It said only once, to be only in this Bishul. Onkelos translates it the exact same way, all 3 places. Leisechlun basa b'chalav, achila. Don't eat basa b'chalav. The pshat in the pasuk is don't eat basa b'chalav. Don't make a gekachs, don't make a meal of basa b'chalav. But it means eating. Bishul is a chiddush that you could have an Issa Bishul, and that's only with the 3rd one. Without the 3rd one, it would not mean that. It would mean, once would mean Achila, twice would mean Anah, 3 times is Bishul. Okay, that's what I want to say about this. Okay. Okay, so at the end of this parsha, so this is machlokes in Rishonim. If this, the last part of it where the Yidden said Nasa and Nishma, that doesn't appear in Yisrael. In Yisrael it says Nasa. Here it says Nasa and Nishma. And there's a machlokes if this is out of sequence and it really belongs there, or if it belongs here. Rashi, Ramban, Ibn Ezra. I really don't want to go into that. But this is where we have Nasa v'Nishma at the end of the Parsha. So the Gemara says like this. Yeah. Amar Rabbi Lozer, B'shor shegdimu Yisrael Nasa l'Nishma, Yosef Baskel v'Amra, Mi gila l'banai rozeh shemalach yesharos mishtamshim by. How did they discover the secret of Nasa v'Nishma that the malach yesharos use it? So the Mefarshim ask, why? What's the secret of Nasa v'Nishma? Nasa v'Nishma means we'll do. We'll do no matter what. We'll do. You'll tell us later. Somebody comes to you and asks you for a favor. I need a favor. I'll do it for you. What is the favor? Okay, whatever it is, I'll do it for you. You want a favor? I'll do it. So that's what they said. They said, we'll do whatever you want. And then afterwards you'll tell us what it is. That's such a secret? Is that like a roz? A secret? And what does it mean Malach HaSharas HaMishtam Shambai? What does Nasa v'Nishma mean by the Malach HaSharas? They don't have Bechira. They don't know, what are they saying? So, and also, you have to understand, what is Nishma? You say Nasa v'Nishma. We'll do and we will hear. But when you say Nasa, implicit in that is that we will hear. Because if we don't hear, how are we going to know what to do? So it's enough to say Nasa, as it says in Parshas Yisrael. We'll do it. Whatever it is, we'll do it. What is it? Well, of course, when you tell us, we'll do it. When I say Nasa, it's Kilo I said, we will do it, and you'll have to tell us what it is that we have to do, and then we'll do it. So what is Nasa v'Nishma? What is the v'Nishma? So I was thinking that when you say Nasa, it's implicit Nishma, because you're not going to know what to do. So you have to know. So there's a Nishma, that means you have to tell us the instructions. That's implicit in Nasa. Nishma is something else. Nishma means we're going to learn Torah Lishma. Not because it's going to tell us what to do, but just for Limud HaTorah. To understand the Torah, to know the Dvar Hashem, that's what Nishma is. So they said, Nasa, we will do all the mitzvahs, and we will also learn Torah Lishma. So the Rebbe Shalom says, where did they discover the secret of Torah Lishma? How do they know the concept of Torah Lishma? The Malachi Asharis do Torah Lishma. They listen to the Dvar Hashem Lishma. So the whole that Nishma only exists by Malachi Asharis in the world. Also, where does this exist? Of course, you're going to have to know what to do to be Mekayim the mitzvahs. But Torah Lishma, that's what this Gemara is saying. Nasa v'Nishma, we'll do everything. You'll tell us what to do, we'll do it. V'Nishma, we're also going to learn Torah Lishma. Okay. Now, a little bit before, the Gemara says like this. B'shor shekdimu Nasa l'Nishma, bo shishim riboy shal malachi ashares l'chol echad miYisrael, kashol shnei ksarim. 600,000 malachim came down and put 2 ksarim on every yid. Echad keneged Nasa, v'echad keneged Nishma. Given shechotu Yisrael, they did the Avera, they would do the Egel, Yardu Meya ve'esrim ribay, 1.2 million malachim came down, and they parkum and they took away these crowns. So first of all, I guess you needed 600,000 malachim. Why not one malach bring all the crowns? So apparently, every yid has his own kesher, his own mahalach, his own relationship with the Rebbeinu Shleilim. Every yid's nasa is different from every other yid's nasa, with them in nuance, and so therefore the malachim don't do more than one shlichus. So every yid's nasa v'nishma needed a separate malach for him. So the malachim came down and they put down nasa v'nishma. They put down the 2 ksarim. So when they came, they gave one malach brought 2 ksarim, nasa and nishma. When they took it away, 2 malachim, one to take away nasa, one to take away nishma. Why is that? Why couldn't the one malach take both away? Why didn't to put it on? One malach puts both on. Take it away, you need 2 malachim. Why? So we have Torah and mitzvahs. Which comes first in our davening? Torah or mitzvahs? So we know, Kadeshenu b'mitzvah Yisacha, v'sein chalkeinu b'Torah Yisacha. First we say mitzvah, and then we say Torah. However, in the Yirotzen, at the end of Berchas HaShachar, we say, Shtagilenu b'Torah Yisacha, v'dapkeinu mitzvah Yisacha. Torah comes first. In Berchas HaKrishma we say, when we say Torah first and then mitzvahs. In the kind of Torah we say Psachli bi b'tzor secha v'achar mitzvah teredav nafshi. So you have the other way. First comes Torah, then comes mitzvahs. But on the other hand, we say Kadeshenu b'tzor secha v'sein chalkeinu b'tzor secha. So how do we explain this? How do we explain the order? Sometimes this way, sometimes that way. Why? I think pshat's like this. What does Kadeshenu b'tzor secha mean? How is Rebbe Shem Mekadesh us with a mitzvah? Just by giving us the mitzvah. The Rebbe Shem gives us a mitzvah to put on film, so that just having the mitzvah putting on film is Mekadesh us. You cannot learn Torah unless you're Mekudesh b'mitzvahs. A person that has no mitzvahs cannot go sit down and learn Torah. To learn Torah, you have to be Mekudesh b'mitzvahs. So Kadeshenu mitzvah secha, v'sein chalkeinu b'tzor secha. First, you have to be Mekudesh b'mitzvahs, then you learn Torah. However, if you want madregas and mitzvahs, if you want to reach to dapkeinu b'mitzvah secha, if you want to reach chacham secha teredav nafshi, not just being mekayim the mitzvahs, but I want to reach madregas and kiyum mitzvahs, then Torah comes first. When I have to have the mitzvah to learn Torah, and when I learn the Torah will allow me to get madregas and mitzvahs. It's a symbiotic relationship between the mitzvahs and the Torah. The mitzvahs give me the opportunity to learn Torah, and the Torah give me the opportunity to advance in mitzvahs to a higher level of kiyum mitzvahs. They say, Targleim Sarsecha, Dapkeinu Mitzvah Dveikus and mitzvahs. Dveikus and mitzvahs is not a simple thing. You cannot get to Dveikus and mitzvahs only through Torah. Without Torah, you can't get to it. But you can't get to Torah unless you have the mitzvahs. So you have to have Kadeshenu mitzvah secha, Semchkel b'tzor secha, but then Harinleinu b'tzor secha, V'dabik l'beinu mitzvah secha. That's what it says. So they're together. They're like a unit, symbiotic. Each one helps the other. So when it comes to putting on the ksorim, so he brought down, as we were saying now, that Nasa means mitzvahs, Nishma means Torah lishma, learning Torah. So the Klal Yisrael said Nasa v'Nishma, so you need one keser for mitzvahs and one keser for Torah. So, but since mitzvahs and Torah are interdependent, so one malach can bring both. Because it's one unit, the mitzvahs and Torah, they work together. When it comes to removing them, then they're separate. They're no longer together. We take away the mitzvahs, we take away the Torah. By taking them away, you need two malachim. Because that's already two shlichusim. One to take away the mitzvah, and one to take away the Torah. But to bring it, since they both work together, one malach can bring both. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next week.